Imagine waking up one morning to a world that feels wrong. At first, you don't know why. The streets look normal, the sky looks normal, and the air seems calm. But something is missing, so subtle that your brain struggles to identify it. Then the realization hits you like a punch to the chest. There are no insects. Not a single buzzing fly, not a crawling ant, not a wing beat from a butterfly, nothing. The silence is unnatural, too clean, too empty. You open your window expecting to see the usual flicker of tiny life, but the world is motionless. The flowers in your garden stand perfectly still, untouched. No bees dipping into petals, no wasps patrolling the air, no dragonflies skimming ponds. It's as if an invisible force swept across the planet overnight and erased one of Earth's oldest and most fundamental life forms. At first, people celebrate. No mosquitoes, no cockroaches, no annoying pests. The world trends with excitement, humanity finally catches a break. But the celebration lasts less than 24 hours. By day two, scientists sound the alarm. The disappearance is not just strange, it's catastrophic. Insects aren't just tiny creatures, they are the gears that keep Earth's biological machine running. And without them, that machine is grinding to a halt. Pollination collapses, food chains shatter, chemical cycles stall. The planet is entering a silent crisis, one that no human can reverse. This isn't just a hypothetical extinction event. This is the slow motion unraveling of Earth's life support system, and it has already begun. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your question below. In this hypothetical scenario, we explore one of the most understated and terrifying environmental disasters imaginable, a world where every insect on Earth suddenly vanishes at the exact same moment. No disease, no pollution event, no slow decline. Just instant disappearance, trillions of organisms wiped out in a single blink. Why is this idea so scientifically interesting? Because insects make up more than half of all known life on the planet. They pollinate most of our crops, recycle organic matter, aerate soil, and sit at the foundation of countless food webs. Removing them isn't like removing a species, it's like pulling out the keystone that supports the entire natural world. This scenario allows us to explore how deeply interlocked Earth's systems truly are. By removing one major group, we uncover the hidden machinery of ecology. The pollination networks, nutrient cycles, predator prey relationships, and microbial interactions that keep our ecosystems alive. And because insects are so ancient, over 400 million years older than humans, their sudden absence creates a ripple effect that touches almost every corner of the biosphere. In this video, we'll take you step by step through the collapse. First, we'll examine the immediate scientific consequences, the ones that unfold within days and weeks. Then we'll follow the longer chain reactions spreading across forests, oceans, and the atmosphere. Finally, we'll explore the long-term future of Earth without insects and what humanity's survival would look like. Welcome to a world built on the smallest creatures and destroyed by their sudden disappearance. Immediate collapse. The first wave of scientific consequences. Within hours of the disappearance, scientists realized the scale of the crisis. Insects aren't just background creatures, they are active participants in thousands of daily biological reactions. Their absence triggers the first wave of immediate ecological failures. The most dramatic begins with pollination. Roughly 80% of flowering plants depend on insects, especially bees, butterflies, moths, beetles, and even flies, to transfer pollen. Without them, the planet's reproductive engine stalls. Farms notice it first. Fruit trees that should be buzzing with life remain eerily still. Blossoms open but no longer serve a purpose. They simply bloom and wait and die unfertilized. Apple orchards, berry farms, watermelon fields, almond groves. Within just a week, the upcoming harvest season is effectively canceled. Next comes the breakdown of food webs. Birds that rely on insects, swallows, sparrows, woodpeckers, begin behaving strangely. They search, dive, hover, and circle, but find nothing. Their energy reserves drop quickly. Frogs, lizards, and bats face the same crisis. Some attempt to switch to alternative foods, but evolution has locked many species into diets that simply cannot be replaced. Meanwhile, the decomposition cycle slows dramatically. Insects are Earth's cleanup crew. Without them, organic waste, dead leaves, decaying wood, animal remains begins piling up. The forest floor becomes thick with undigested matter. Soil microbes alone cannot keep up, and nutrient cycling drops sharply. Plants start showing signs of nutrient deficiency within days. Even human infrastructure feels the shock. Waste management facilities, which rely on insect driven pre decomposition, experience slowdowns. The natural breakdown of sewage, fertilizers, and compost becomes sluggish. Perhaps the most surprising immediate effect occurs in the atmosphere. Without trillions of insects beating their wings and constantly disturbing the air, local microclimates begin changing. Insects help move spores, seeds, and even microscopic droplets through the air. Their sudden absence results in subtle but measurable shifts in humidity and airflow around dense vegetation. This first wave is only the beginning. The planet's biological engine is seizing up. The second wave, environmental unraveling and planetary chain reactions. Weeks after the disappearance of all insects, the crisis begins escalating into a planetary chain reaction. What started as a biological shock is now transforming into a full environmental collapse. The first major shift happens in plants and forests. With pollination halted and nutrient cycles weakened, flowering plants begin dying off in massive numbers. Wildflowers vanish first, followed by fruit bearing shrubs. Forest ecosystems, which rely on insects to break down fallen leaves and wood, start choking under layers of unprocessed organic debris. The forest floor becomes a dense, suffocating carpet of dead material, locking nutrients away and starving younger plants. Next, herbivores begin to feel the impact. Many rely heavily on the fruits, seeds, and young shoots that are no longer produced. Small mammals, like rodents, rabbits, and primates in tropical regions, lose essential food sources. Their populations plummet. Larger animals that depend on them follow soon after in a spiraling cascade. This triggers a dramatic change in carbon cycling. Normally, insects break down plant material, allowing carbon to re enter the atmosphere safely through respiration or become stored in soil. With this process slowed, forests begin storing massive amounts of undecomposed carbon in the form of leaf litter and dead biomass. But instead of acting like a stabilizing carbon sink, this buildup creates dangerous fuel reserves. The stage is set for something catastrophic: megafires. Dry seasons turn forests into explosive tinderboxes. Without insects to break down the material gradually, fires burn hotter, faster, and farther than before. Entire landscapes ignite in extreme infernos, releasing massive carbon plumes into the atmosphere. These fires, combined with agricultural collapse, push humanity into a global food crisis. Grain production drops, livestock suffers from reduced feed, and fish populations decline because many aquatic species rely on insects as a crucial food source. Rivers and lakes grow clearer but eerily lifeless without insect larvae. Earth is no longer functioning as a balanced system. It is teetering toward a new, harsher ecological reality. Long-term future: collapse, adaptation, and the new Earth. Years into the insectless world, Earth enters a transformed and far harsher chapter. What began as a silent disappearance has become one of the largest mass extinctions since the fall of the dinosaurs. The collapse of insect-pollinated plants reshapes the global landscape. Meadows turn into barren fields. Forests become skeletal versions of their former selves, dominated only by wind-pollinated plants like grasses, conifers, and a few hardy shrubs. Entire ecosystems become monotonous, lacking the vibrant biodiversity that once depended on insect activity. The world's color fades: less fruit, fewer flowers, fewer seeds. Bird populations crash by more than 70%, with many species disappearing forever. Bats decline rapidly. Amphibians vanish from countless regions. Without insects as a primary food source, many animals cannot evolve fast enough to adapt. Rivers and lakes lose their insect larvae, destabilizing aquatic food chains. Certain fish survive only by switching to plant matter or hunting smaller fish, but many species go extinct. Coral reefs, heavily influenced by nutrient cycles and microecology, decline even faster. For humans, the long-term outlook is bleak. Global agriculture must undergo a complete revolution. Farmers shift to crops that don't require insect pollination: wheat, oats, barley, corn, but fruit, vegetables, nuts, and legumes become luxury items or vanish entirely. Humanity grows more dependent on lab-grown foods, genetic engineering, and artificial pollination drones, expensive technologies that cannot scale to match the output of trillions of natural insects. Atmospheric chemistry begins changing as well. With fewer plants and fewer decomposers, carbon accumulates unevenly. Megafires continue to release massive carbon loads into the atmosphere. Climate patterns become more extreme. Some regions grow colder due to vegetation loss, others heat dramatically due to deforestation and fire-scorched land. In the far future centuries or millennia after the disappearance, Earth stabilizes into a new but impoverished biosphere. Life continues, but in a simplified, diminished form. The planet becomes quieter, emptier, slower, a shadow of the world humans once knew.
This is the long echo of losing insects, not just ecological collapse, but the transformation of Earth itself.
The final reflection: a planet rewritten. In this hypothetical world where every insect suddenly vanished, we witnessed the collapse of Earth's biological foundations in slow motion. The first shock was immediate: plants left unpollinated, food webs broken, decomposition stalled, and species across the planet thrown into confusion. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into years, the disaster deepened into something far more permanent. Forests suffocated under layers of undecomposed organic matter. Agricultural systems failed without their natural pollinators. Animals that had relied on insects for millions of years either starved or vanished entirely. The planet's carbon cycles shifted, fueling megafires and feeding climate instability. Every environmental system soil, water, air, and vegetation was pushed off balance. Over the long term, Earth settled into a new and diminished equilibrium. Wind pollinated plants dominated. Many species disappeared. Humans survived only by relying heavily on technology, synthetic foods, engineered ecosystems, and costly artificial pollination systems. In this new world, biodiversity shrank. Silence replaced the buzzing pulse of life, and resilience gave way to fragility. This scenario is a stark reminder of something we often forget. The smallest creatures hold up the largest systems. Insects are not nuisances or background noise, they are engineers of the planet, maintaining the cycles that allow life to flourish. If their disappearance can unravel the world so completely, imagine what protecting them could preserve. Earth is strong but not invincible, and neither are we.